Hello and welcome. We're back with some Pendragon Salisbury Anarchy. The year is now 507. We're going to quickly meet the cast here, and then we're going to dive right into the game. We're going to start with Thomas on the left.
Hello, my name is Thomas, and I'll be playing Sir Edrich of Winterbourne, Stoke, Marshal of Salisbury, Baron of Vagon. And I do so much for my peasantry, and they just fucking suck.
Tis true. Mark.
Hello, I am Mark, aka the Guts Meow, and I am here to play Sir Florence of Idmiston, Baron of the Axe, and current Lord Commander of Wells.
Indeed. And we'll go to Liam next.
I'm liking Mark's little Matt Berry impression there. It was good. Hi, everybody. I'm Liam. I am playing Sir Baron Virgil Devices. I'm very much excited to hopefully kill someone today, because I gotta say, it's been a while for Virgil, and I think the buzzing's back.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into things. We're going to resolve a couple of things first. We're going to go over to Edrich. Edrich had Winterbourne Stoke had a birth in the family. And
It did indeed.
Why don't you tell us who had a child, an heir?
I did. I have a son now. My son's name is Galen. He is small and quiet, but he is a good boy, all told, and had a very healthy winter. All of my children are doing fine, except for the first one, who's dead. And all in all, I'm quite pleased to have a spare in addition to an heir. Despite how young they are.
All right. And then tell us about Blethant, rather.
Blethant has gotten married. To whom? I do not know.
Here we go.
He was the only surviving family member that I had. So he has gotten married to an avid reader, someone who is as cruel as he, Brianna.
Indeed. Current setting. All right, so this would be Salisbury. Ooh, that's interesting. We should figure out what...
Must have been...
it
must have been when he was passing by.
Yeah. Well, we have to give that person a house. I like the house politics in Salisbury. That's important.
Indeed.
But not another time. This is a distant thing to figure out.
I like how she's as forgiving as she is cruel.
If you want
no one crosses her.
If you want to do the recording of names, Thomas, for these NPCs as we do them, I appreciate it.
I shall indeed.
Awesome. Okay, so... that pretty much resolves any highlights for Winterbourne Stoke's winter.
It does. However, my steward and my only surviving brother, Sir Cynstenian, almost died, but is instead infirmed for this entire year. Obviously, his stint while rescuing his wife has led to some difficulties recovering from a persistent illness. But he is being looked after, and after a year, he should be good.
All right. With that, last thing, what is the age of Edric's squire?
Edric's squires, for he has two.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just open his thing. Hwellen, the one I got from my marshal position, is 19 currently, and Cadwellon is 18.
Okay. What I've decided to do, rather than doing the yearly squire thing, is every once in a while we'll do that, but also on the year they hit 21. I think that's important to do.
Indeed.
Because there's some stuff to figure out. Let's go to Idmiston and the Axe next with Florence. Were there any births or deaths in your family this year?
There were indeed a few births. There were 3 to be precise. One from Florence's brother, one from his mother, which seems odd. So it might actually be something else. As well, Florence had another child himself, another bastard daughter that is yet to be named.
Oh, good times.
Also, as a note, Rhodri's firstborn son has become a knight. He's now 21.
Very nice.
Oh,
Yeah, I think maybe did he?
Maybe.
More likely than not. Why don't we determine Sir Florence's what would be the management of your family? You know what? Roll a 20 on anything other than a 20. He is knighted. If not, you might have a little bit extra effort. Yep. Clearly a good candidate for knighting. All right.
He is now Sir Reeves.
So make sure you go in and record these things in Family Echoes. If you don't have permission, just record them for me so I can do that editing for you in the future. And for
I
now,
don't think I have permission, but we'll find out.
we will find out. I'd like to keep these things rolling. I might have tried to lord over it at first just to make sure dates and stuff didn't get messed up. But maybe what we'll do is, even if people can do the recording of it, then I can cut it over. Just nice visual for seeing how big these family trees get later on. I think it's super fun. Any other highlights from Idmiston or the Axe?
No, they had a wonderful winter. In fact, their steward did so well that they credit due to a windfall.
Nice.
Benefit them.
Very nice.
My steward did so badly that he died. Barring a 1 in 6 chance, which I successfully got.
How's your squire? Well, quite dead, so actually pretty bad. Indeed. Okay. We'll go over to Durnford and devices next.
Big year. I lost. I still technically made money because devices in Durnford have been properly souped up by Perin before Virgil's time. That being said, I had about the worst possible harvest you can imagine. I had to spend to go from an impoverished knight to an extravagant knight. So, very expensive. That being said, Virgil ended up improving their orate and their intrigue up to 15, and had 2 kids, one with his wife before she left, and a son, and another one with his mistress, meaning he's now got 2 kids with his mistress, Oriel. What else happened? His eldest son, Cato, got married. I think that's pretty much it. Also, Virgil
let's hold on before we go too far. We didn't have Cato married, did we?
I don't believe we did. No.
Did we determine his chaste and lustful?
I don't believe we have. I can double check. I think I might have access to his sheet here. I do not.
Do I?
I don't know.
Did I create one?
I think I played him once, but I can't remember if we made a sheet for him or not, or if I just winged it.
I vaguely remember having a sheet for him, but we must not have.
Did you play Sir Lionel instead of Cato?
Yeah, that's what it was.
No, I definitely played Cato for 1 session.
Yeah, but not in combat, I don't think. Ori went down right away. There was a point where you went through, like, Virgil and Cato fell in the same battle. I remember that, but I can't remember if you played them both or not.
No, you played Cato in that one. I think I played Cato during the feast one time, but I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you did. That's right. Okay, well, nice and easy. Let's see here. We will do we'll do 8 plus 1d6. That seems reasonable. So 9 chaste, 11 lustful.
Oh boy.
So
Taking after his dad.
in that process, I think we need to determine whether this is legitimate, like a marriage or a kid, because we didn't establish a wedding. Actually, it's very likely to have been at least out of wedlock, because we haven't established a wedding, right? Like he's not married.
Oh, no, the role was not childbirth. The role was marriage.
Oh, the role is marriage. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so that's different. So in that case, well, let's see if this is the result of a shotgun wedding, though. Why don't you give me? Yeah. Why don't you roll? Tell me whether you're rolling for chaste or lustful. If you're rolling for chaste, it's against a 9. If you're rolling for lustful, it's against an 11.
All right, I'm rolling for chaste. I usually roll bad. Let's go. Fuck.
Okay, now roll for lustful. If this fails too, okay, both failed. So the good news is, I will leave it up to you. Is this is this a shotgun wedding or is this a planned wedding?
Well, it's gonna cost me money, right? If it's planned wedding, right? Because I'm the father of the groom, meaning I'm probably gonna end up paying for it. Yes.
I'm trying to remember. The dowries comes from the bride, right? A gift.
Oh.
Yeah.
In that case. Now that would mean that I lose Cato as a household knight, most likely, right? Because he would be going into another family. Is that how that works?
No, not necessarily. You are a baron, so you could name him as just one of your household knights, and you have the income to have him support a family. If you wanted to.
He is the heir of devices, so I would say let's get a good legitimate marriage in there, I think.
Okay.
I think that'll be nice.
Roll me a d20 and add 8.
18.
Okay. This is a firstborn daughter of a vassal knight who has heirs of his own, but it's still a very legitimate person. Now let's figure out where they're from.
Okay.
Verena, neighboring region. Ooh, so this is either the North or Cambria or Cornwall.
What a wonderful set of stats for a wife. Incredibly deceitful, very valorous, incredibly good at
me.
Very good at stabbing things.
Welcome to your Cumbrian bride from pagan too, no doubt. From the land of Rostock.
What a magical combination.
Well done, son. Were I your age, I suspect I would have fallen for her too.
Rostock's the land, like the kingdom just beside Mellowhut, by the way.
You cut out there.
Oh, it's the kingdom just beside Mellowhut. One sec.
Very interesting.
She's a spy. Kill her.
That's what I'm thinking. So, Rostek, is that right? Rostock?
I see your mouth moving, but I can't hear words, Bob.
It's fine on my end.
No, it was just out for a second. I restarted my mic to make sure. All right.
Serpentine Muse has redeemed a card for whoever had the worst winter. I suspect that's going to Sir Virgil with the bad weather and the bastard child.
I agree.
And his wife Haven.
Well, I lost a lot of money this year.
All right.
My line did not go up enough.
+1 to either gaming, cowardly, or strength. So,
Ooh, I'll use that strength one for sure.
all right. Just a reminder, those cards go out after the session, so if they're not played this year, use it or lose it. All right, and then going back to Florence, we didn't talk about your squires.
Yes. Florence just has one squire at the moment.
Age.
That is Sly Dog, and he's 18.
All right. Okay, and then Virgil. What about your squire or squires?
My squire is Pool. Wait, there with a W. And he is 19 last time I checked.
Fair?
Oh, wait, no, he was 19, so he should be 20 this year.
Indeed.
Okay. So he's getting close. So we're going to go ahead with him a year away from being knighted. We're going to start with a little scene between the two of you. Why don't you roll me 2d100, Virgil? Let's figure out what this learning lesson, let's see what this family house moment looks like. Or full house.
39 and 15.
Okay, this is interesting. Okay. You get summoned to him, and he's been broken. Like, there's a fight that's been broken up between him and another squire, one of the squires of one of your hounds. And when you kind of enter the room, you see like quite a bit of a pool of blood as you enter.
All right. Let's see then. I'll step into the room and look around for exactly what's happened here.
Yeah. I'm not going to make you roll because I think your character commands enough loyalty from everyone involved. You find out very quickly that your squire heard another knight squire, like one of your serving knight squires, talking about your mistress. And your squire kicked the crap out of him, like went overboard though, like beat him unconscious. Looks like a UFC match took place on the mat, on the stone here.
I think I need to test something to see how Virgil would even respond to this. Okay.
Whoa.
Okay.
What do you...
Ah.
I think...
Well, I see nothing wrong with this.
You know what? It's not arbitrary, it's pride in this moment.
I think as he gets the situation, Virgil just kind of grins, and he goes over to where Pooh is, and he goes, "Let me hear your side of it, boy. Speak quick."
He was running his mouth about you, so that everyone can hear. Tired of people talking when there's no consequences, like there's no consequences. So I showed him there's consequences.
Cause and effect, huh?
Nods.
You know, there's a lot of bigger, scarier knights. Ones who hit back and hit hard. That also don't believe there are consequences. Would you go and fight one of them for running their mouth?
He pauses a little bit, but he's like, if they were offending my lord's honor, then yes, I would.
You may not have heard the speech yet, boy, but you're going to soon. When you're knighted, there's a part of it. Let this be the last blow unreturned. If you wave your fists around and strike the wrong person, it will be returned, one way or another, and not necessarily by the person you're striking. That said, and I think he reaches down and touches a little bit of the blood, and I'm just like, legit, like, I think there's like a moment of like wiping it on his own clothing, just getting the blood stain on it, you know? And he goes, that being said, too many believe that fear is an unworthy motivator. If you show the others that you are to be feared as well as respected, they will stop pushing. And if they don't, then the others will distance themselves from them. They'll be left alone, and they can be taught that lesson. But you have to do it smart, Poe. It was not long ago that a manor was burned down with family inside. That cannot be allowed to happen again. Do you understand what I'm saying? No. Good.
All right, I think what this, to me, this screams of prudence, which I know Virgil's not known for, but I'm gonna sweeten the pot. I'll give you a +3 to prudence because of the speech, -3 to reckless. But I want you to roll whichever you want to roll first. Typical comparison.
So that's a fumble on prudent.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I'm reaping what I sow. I'm getting what I deserve.
I don't think we need to go any further than that, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah. I think what it comes down to is a lot of what Virgil's done successfully has been out of being reckless. Like, and so regardless of your words, that's the message he's taking out of this, is that it's important to...
He stopped listening after Virgil's like, you're right, we should show people that there's consequences, and then just tuned out the whole rest of that conversation.
He's like, so I'm right, is what you're saying. Perfect. Yeah. Don't need to hear a single moment more. Yeah.
Why are the greatest psychos of our age coming from Durnford, Sir Virgil?
Don't worry about it, kitten.
Okay, yay!
Okay. We're gonna do a quick check-in with Florence, who will not be actually Florence, you are able to attend Easter in Salisbury if you wish, before going to return to your Lord Commander of Wales position.
He would, before he returns to, his job.
All right. Okay, that will bring us to Easter. We're going to go ahead and dive in.
Oh, yeah.
Right into stuff. Okay, so switching over, some fancy music. Hey, look at that. You would have failed. You didn't.
Paid off.
Would have failed if I were not a marshal.
Edrich is near the salt. Why don't the two of you determine your spots?
Nope. I get a +1 to this due to my jewelry. Valued at 1 libra.
Fashion. Turn to the left.
Success.
Posing at the bar.
Hey, Virgil is above the salt.
Very nice.
No cards for Virgil,
Very
though.
nice.
No!
It's always exciting until you realize that.
That's the whole reason I'm here!
The guest for this year, there is Queen Eliabelle is here still. So is Sir Elaine, the constable from Scavalon. Then there is the return of Sir Ufo, Duke of Ulfius, or son of Ulfius, and Lady Jenna's back.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
Good to see her.
Okay. There are a lot of folks present, a lot of the standard people. I guess one who's not is Cynstenian, but we're going to see him back. Not this year.
has polio.
Right. Okay. I think that is pretty much all we need to get started. We will start with Virgil above the salt. Your turn, sir.
Oh dear. Okay. All right. Wait, hang on. I have an idea. Let me see. Yes. No. I was gonna be like, oh, I can use that gaming roll with my bonus card, but it would still only be a 4 in gaming, so I'm more likely to lose money than make it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think. I think what I would like to do is make my way over to Sir Ufo and see what I would like to try to just politely engage in conversation and see if I can check in on Lady Jenna and also see how Silchester is holding up and what their plans are as Cornwall continues to advance.
Indeed. Yes. So you are at the same table as them because you're above the salt. So that's easy. You have roast baby swan for this course.
Oh my god. Why would they do that?
Okay.
The youth gives us power.
Cool. I think Virgil will just kind of, either lean over, or if it's not feasible to do that, step over and like, Sir Ufo, Lady Jenna, glad to see you both grace our halls again. It has been some time, and I'm pleased that you chose to spend this Easter with us.
Ufo gives you a firm nod back, like a friendly enough greeting, but still kind of a bit stoic. Jenna has a warm smile on her face and says, Sir Virgil, pleasure to see you once again.
As always, it is a delight to see you as well, Lady Jenna. Seems that your marriage is going very well. You both have a glow about you.
They both nod to each other and then nod back to you. Sir Ufo leans in and says, we haven't announced it yet, but Lady Jenna is with child. We're celebrating. It's one of the many reasons we're present.
Congratulations. I will be very excited to greet the child when it's here, and I will keep it hush-hush until you're ready to announce it.
Very good.
I've been meaning to ask you, Sir Ulfo, how your father is, and how Silchester fares. Cornwall's advance. I'm sure a great deal of the surrounding counties are looking to him for leadership.
The old fox is doing well. He's recovered just in time to meet the ailments of old age, it seems. But with his will, I expect him to pull through just fine. He's prepared great efforts to combat any threat from Wessex, should it come once more. Regular patrols to Levcamagus so that we aren't surprised once more. And a garrison.
I do not doubt it, though I haven't heard much in your description about Cornwall. I understand that, well, the King of Cornwall's forces don't yet border Silchester. It is only a matter of time. He does not just see Summerland as his goal. He will advance until all of Logres is his, by conquest, not by right.
Ufo has you can tell that doesn't concern him. He gives a nod and says, "You know that we are bound to your protection. If there's any threat that should come to Salisbury, Silchester will answer the call."
I know. But I wonder if being reactive is enough in these times. Perhaps there is some virtue in action as well. This is not a day for politics or a discussion of war, though. We're celebrating, right? Quietly or loudly alike.
He nods. He raises a glass to you. He says, "To those that fight the Saxons, and any who would threaten the borders of Logres."
May these halls always feel like home to you both.
Right. And to make this an action, Liam, are you thinking courtesy? Are you trying to dig for a little bit more dirt? What do you want to do?
I'm thinking courtesy. I'm actively worse at it, but
Okay.
I don't think there was a lot of play there.
You could appeal towards temperance as well, or indulgence, and just sit and eat or not eat, abstain if you want. Make sure.
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, that would be like you making sure that Lady Jenna's and Ufo's cup is filled. You know what I mean? Not as their servant, but as their equal in a way. Yeah.
And a little bit as a host.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good.
Good
you
shit.
tick that. You get 3 geniality, sir. All right. You can tell too, every time while you're up here, every time Ufo or Eliabel or Elaine speak, it's sort of like the rest of the table quiets to see if there's anything important in the politicking going on there. You can tell the tensions between, your northwest, your southwest, and your east are high. And they're all here in discussion. So,
as it should be.
All right. We move to Edrich for round 1 now.
I do love politics, but something that I love a little bit more than politics is drawing cards. So I will begin with that. Drawing 4. Wallflower, how's the wine? Emergency. And about things real. A lady asks me if I believe in fairies and spirits.
Oh, God.
Spiritual versus worldly. Emergency.
No.
A guest sitting next to you begins choking on a piece of food. How's the wine? You are asked to comment on the wine and wallflower. I notice a shy young lady sitting alone. The wallflower would not stir me. How's the wine? Meh. Emergency, I can see Edrich stepping in to try and assist. And about things real, you would not be able to stop him talking about that.
I believe fairies exist for now.
Exactly. This will change. I am probably going to get less of a result with about things real, but I feel it is more important that Edrich kind of step into that. He is famously spiritual, so I'm gonna give that a go.
Sounds good. Give her.
Okay, success and worldly. Yep. So I'm gonna roll fairy lore and see how it goes. My fairy lore isn't as good as it could be. It's a 6. It is still much better than most knights. Let's give it a go. That's a failure. I imagine, like, instead of telling her stories about fairies, he goes, "Yes, I
It's
know
a
for a
tirade.
fact they are real. They persist. They infest the forests around here. You may believe these stories to be cutesy, but look around every single one of them. Tales of children being abducted, hordes of headless horsemen running across the fields, killing a village each year. They are an infestation, a cancer, and it must be cut out." I hope this answers your question, my lady.
She's like, enjoy the feast, Sir Edrich. Carries on.
And I get 2 geniality from that. Not
Yeah.
3, because I don't succeed on the roll.
No, it's 3 total, though, yes?
1 from picking the card, 1 from being near the salt.
Should be 2 total.
But, yeah,
Okay.
just 2.
Gotcha.
But
on success.
yeah,
I misread that.
Indeed.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's less him telling stories about it. It's more going, "And when the last giant has wandered the land and eaten the last sheep, then we will know peace."
I'm going to say just for shits and giggles, we're going to say that was Lady Siri. She's like, okay.
All right.
Oh, fucking
Good to know.
weirdo.
Cool
No,
stuff.
Edric's so weird.
Indeed. He's been consistently this weird from the first time that the Fae have annoyed him.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go to Florence next.
All right, Florence is gonna party it up. Let's draw some cards.
Florence is going to hit the machine.
Florence is the machine.
Florence is in the machine.
Does Florence rage against the machine as well?
Absolutely. Tired, gossip, more food, and drunken loud.
These are great cards.
No, these are pretty hard. Great. Why don't we do a
You know, that's something I hope they fix. I haven't looked at the cards yet for the new version, but I'll say that I think it's not ideal board game mechanics to do skip a turn. You already have to wait a turn as is.
Yeah.
So for the whole, you risk just being removed from play. Not my favorite out of the group, but it's not bad or anything. It's just not my preference.
That design makes sense for the
Yeah.
time for sure, but I think these days that is not great design.
Right, let's do gossip. You overhear some interesting conversation. Roll intrigue. On a failure, nothing happens.
Oh, wow. That was the most uneventful. Yeah. We say you're just about to go, and then the drunken loud bumps into you.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you overhear something. You know what? I'll give you just because I think it's fun. Is you overheard like Lady Violet talking with, I don't know who it would be. It wouldn't be. It would be Sarah, Lady Sarah. That's who it is. And they both are saying that they think Sir Ufo and Lady Jenna are back for a reason. And just then you get interrupted as someone comes to like small talk with you. And there's like both Sarah and Violet kind of realize you're close by and kind of go a bit quieter. So it ruins your chance to eavesdrop.
Yeah. Oh,
well. All right. Round 2. Back to Virgil. That was quick.
Virgil's turn for Virgil things. Oh God, I don't have anything else I want to do. Is my wife here? Can I fix my relationship with my wife?
my wife.
Look,
I mean,
you don't
Lady
have to like.
Lilo.
You don't have to like me, but can you come back and do my taxes, please?
What a fucking thing to say to your wife.
I'm sorry, but people are starving. I'm bad at it. Yeah, you know what? I would like to make an attempt at my wife here, I think.
Like a murder attempt or what? Yeah.
No. So I'm thinking about, in order to try to woo her back and help her understand, I imagine that would have to be a romance roll, yes? Or maybe I could make an argument for an orate, right?
Yes. I'll add the following caveat. I think understand, like, if you pose logic in this, you will not get emotional response in this.
No.
So it either needs to be an appeal to some kind of sensibility or an appeal to or pragmatism, either an appeal to pragmatism or appeal to feelings.
Yeah, if I appeal to feeling, I could impassion with love of her, which is at 16. But that's only going to get me, if I succeed at that, a 6 in romance, or 7 in romance.
Your romance is 2?
My romance is 2. It's Virgil, dude. Like, come on.
You were the best accountant. Did you mean wife? Oh, yes.
If
I
meant
just
try to talk her into, like, look, I understand that you're mad at me, but we gotta figure this out. If not for us, then for the situation. I could still potentially impassion with that, and I could use orate, which is that would give me a guaranteed success, at least, if I succeed. So, I think Virgil, looking at it with any amount of realism, understands that as long as she is not home, he can't. There is no chance. So I think step 1 is just going to try to be talking her into coming home, and we will figure it out from there. You know.
Okay, so it's an appeal to the pragmatic of kind of appealing to her coming home.
Yeah, it's gonna be like I'll get into it with the RP, but it will be largely like, for your protection, for your safety, for your comfortability. You don't have to like me, but I do not think that my responsibility to take care of you is over, and I would like you to be back home. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think that's the play. I'm gonna roll first and see how this goes. Now I have to ask. I do believe honor is involved here. It's treating somebody that has not been treated right, making amends. Can I roll my honor passion, or shall I do love Lady Lilo? I will be fine either way.
I think in this case, the only one that applies is hospitality. Honor would only apply if you broke it off with your amour.
That's a fair point. Hospitality ain't great for me either. Love Lady Lilo won't work either. It's not that much of a difference, but I'll give it a shot either way.
You know what? I'm okay with that. If that's really, if this truly is that for Virgil and not a pragmatic perspective, like if it's like,
yeah. Yeah, I think there's an element of the taxes. that's in the back of his mind. But no, he does like his love for Lady Lilo is exactly the same as his love for Oriel's right now. They're both at 16. So
Okay.
I do think that largely he does want her back home. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yep.
right.
I'm okay with either.
Let's try it. Here we go.
Oh no! That is in fact
Oh.
melancholy.
It is
Minus
melancholy
5 as well.
at the end of this go. So not till next
So-
The
round.
end of this round.
Yep.
So you roll a romance, which is at a 2, and then
I mean,
you
that
get
does-
melancholy.
This does make sense.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Oh.
The orate succeed.
Okay.
Okay.
Virgil will make his way over to Lady Lilo and go, I understand if you don't wish to speak to me, but I need to talk to you. Can I take you for a moment?
Anything you have to say can be said here.
He looks over to Lady Violet, who's sitting next to her.
Lady Violet like nods and kind of turns to Iago and starts talking to him. Dame Rian sitting there stuffing her face with boiled bitter and like is that liquid? It sounds like a boiled. Whatever.
Bittern is a bird, so it's
Yeah.
boiled bird.
Okay. So
Boiled bird. What the
Yeah.
fuck are they doing over there?
yeah,
British version.
Rian's like stuffing her face, and then she just slowly turns and sees you and Lilo and Violet and Oslif all kind of staring, and then you just see Oslif take Rian and says, "This way." And the two kind of, so there's a little bit of a space.
I recognize that words are insufficient. There is very little I can do or say to make this right for you. But that won't stop me from making an attempt. You belong home. It is... I know much has happened, and regardless of your feelings towards me, whether they have changed or not, I see it as my responsibility to protect you and our children. I would like you to come back home, and if you do, I promise you, I will not force you to do or be anything for me. That place, our children, they are yours to see and be near, should you so choose.
She kind of has her nose raised in the air a little bit, and she says, "I want my own quarters, my own wing, to be surrounded by my maid of honor." Or hold on, wrong term. Bob's failing here. What's the term? Handmaiden. Thank you.
Handmaiden.
To be surrounded by my handmaiden and the maid for all I care, but far away from yours.
I will let you have your pick, and I will endeavor to make it so that you do not have to see me should you choose. That said, and I think there's a moment. I think how I'm going to represent that failure in the romance is like, or in the love. I think there's a moment where he's about to make an appeal, and he decides like, this is enough. I've gotten her to come home. I'm going to take that victory, and he stops short, whether or not that was the right move to make or not. You know. I'll make arrangements, and if you may like, you may pick a knight or two that you care for, trust. I'll hire them on as your protectors. That way you won't have to rely on any of my men if you don't like.
She nods. Says, "This will suffice." She says, "I will return in the summer. And it's like you haven't seen her probably cold like that ever, so it's kind of like awkward. Like it's super awkward. You haven't had
we've reached
cold,
an accord.
yeah, she couldn't
Great thing to
stress
say to
it.
a
Yeah,
wife.
yeah. If she was in a business suit, that would be the only way you'd know it was more formal than right now. So,
Virgil nods and he goes, "As a soldier, I have learned to take every scrap of ground I can take and be satisfied with it. This will suffice."
she nods, and she'll actually be the one to kind of walk off just to establish, I think.
Power move.
Yeah, exactly. It is very much establishing her autonomy in it and not being
I think that's a very justifiable thing to put him into melancholy for the rest of this feast.
Yeah.
Yes.
25 glory, apparently from all the witnesses, and then your Lady Lilo
Joy.
does fall by 1 to 15.
Oh.
It does, yes. I mean, this is a pretty glorious dinner for you, but at what cost?
What cost?
That is a successful orate and above the salt, so that is 3. So you're up to 6.
Indeed. With 25 glory from the melancholy.
Yeah. Indeed. All right, that brings us to
Should have
Edrich.
gone into madness. Indeed.
No, don't never go into bad. It's never worth the 100 glory. Yeah.
Indeed. There is some politicking that I think I might like to do, but nothing that I feel is appropriate to do here. I'm going to draw some more cards. And let's see how the luck of the draw faces me. Biggest mistake? Oops, a dex roll. Test of strength and mead.
Wow.
A large keg of fine mead is brought in and opened.
These are
Temperate
very
versus
non-Edric
indulgent.
cards. Like all of them kind of are not.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Not fantastic for me. I think. What's my temperate versus indulgent? Is pretty good. Oops, I'm not rolling dex if I can fucking help it. Test of strength. I'm not weak, but nor am I the arm wrestling swords. Biggest mistake. I would roll orate, which isn't terrible, and make it a humorous anecdote. No, I don't think I will. Even if it means that I can challenge someone to a duel. Let me roll temperate versus indulgent as I see if I can avoid the obvious assassin that is here while not offending the host.
Okay.
I love playing that game.
Indeed. So, rolling temperate? I'm not modifying this by geniality, right?
No. Actually, it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's right. We don't do it. Well, no, for feast actions, I think we allow it. So.
Gotcha. But with that, temperate succeeds. So I think as the mead is brought around and a number of the men are like taking goblets, quaffing deep, maybe belching, he takes it and his eyes find the local mead merchant, the one looking at this, that maybe like a knight or a lord brought this and is looking for a reaction. And he raises the goblet appreciatively and says, "Very fine work. My compliments on your apiary."
All right. That's going to be just 3 geniality, right?
Indeed so.
I'd add something, but I don't think I need to for that one.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, that
Think
brings.
I'm going to admit to my biggest mistake? No, I've got tons.
I have to sort
My
through
son
which one
died
first.
once.
Yeah. All right, that brings us to Florence.
All right. I think Florence is going to attempt to draw another card. Maybe he'll actually gain some geniality. We'll have to see, won't we? Time to share. Glory Hounds. Meet the host.
Meet the host.
And test your strength.
It's time to meet the hosts.
It's
All right,
time
then.
to wake the old ones. It's
Let's
time the
see.
stars were right.
All right.
So your best skill.
What is your
which
best?
would be spear.
Yeah, this is perfect. Robert comes up to you and he's like, "Sir Florence."
Yes, my lord.
As you know, I'm not far from being squired. I hear you're very good at the charge, hitting your mark with the spear. I recently had an opportunity to try the same, and it worked out less well than I hoped it would.
I see. Well, you see, my lord, when it comes to the matter of the spear, it is a pride to us, Kimry, as it is the weapon that was used by our ancestors to defend this land. A spear is not just a simple weapon you can use in battle. It has some interesting superiorities to that of, say, swords or axes or maces. With a spear, you have distance on your opponent. The spear can also be used, as you have said, as a lance. It is through this we can combine our skills and learned of those of horseback to be able to not only strike our enemies at a distance, but to strike them down with speed, precision, and cunning.
Okay.
That's a success on a 14. Not a critical, though.
Very nice.
He nods. He's like, I might see about a lesson or two with you, and perhaps at that feast. It looks like Mother's arrangements suggest that should be possible in late summer or the fall. We're just organizing some things, if that suits you well enough.
Of course, my lord. I would be honored to do so.
All right. And I quickly need someone to help me with math, because I kind of forget how this works. So if
It ain't gonna be me.
if child's born in 492 and it's now 507, are they hitting their squire year of 15 this year?
Yes. 8 plus 7 is 15. So it would be this year.
So that's probably something for you all to think about. Is the Earl is officially squire age this year.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, my squire is out. I think next year.
Indeed.
Interesting.
I will say this. I would be happy to have him as a squire. He would not like to be my squire. It's going to be like, there will be deference to the Lord, but there will also be, why can't you operate on 3 hours of sleep every week?
Yeah. So
I
the
think we do well as
the big thing
Florence's squire.
as the Earl, you would be his, like, it's different. He wouldn't be tagging along with you. You'd be stuck in Sarum.
Yeah,
Indeed.
For a year. So it's something, or for 5 years. So it's something to think about.
5 years, yeah.
Probably Florence is probably out of the picture. That leaves Edrich and Virgil, unless Florence's situation changes, because he would have to be here. And then you guys would basically be surrendering, like you'd be managing your estate from afar, as you basically set up shop in.
Alternatively, we could also have someone like Sir Bar do it. 'Cause he's already
Yes.
here.
I actually think that might be perfect for Virgil right now. He doesn't like he's overseeing the fort. Like we're currently, Helfier is doing the fortifications at Devices. Virgil would like to be at Sarum so we can start building more coalition, a stronger coalition, and he doesn't want to be home while his wife is home right now.
It's true.
So, like,
Not to mention, there's a lot of advantage and a lot of glory in being the one who sires the Earl, basically.
yeah, I think actually I know what I'm doing next turn. Oh, I'm in melancholy. Fuck. All right, we'll be
Oh
fine.
no!
We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll be
Let's
fine.
figure out for how many days
Shut up,
to
shut
that is a 1d6 plus
See how many
5.
days.
Shut up, everybody. I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Would you like me to
1d6
break
plus
you out of
5.
it?
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
have other plans.
Yes,
Eight
please.
days.
8 days.
8 days. Yeah, man. I think honestly, it would score you some brownie points with Virgil too, because he's really mad at you.
Florence.
I don't care very much, but I will help you.
What was that?
Reality for this one.
3?
Yeah.
And that brings you to a total of 4. So you got 1 for the first one.
Correct.
Okay. Round 3.
I might not be able to break you out of it this feast, because you go before me.
Alas. Yeah, because it's one. There's only one more round, right?
Yes.
Indeed.
All right. Well, that's
do
okay.
we
So
do we want to risk another
melancholy-
body slam?
Yeah, my melancholy. That's right. That's what happened, huh? It was. That's
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Okay. So, don't get me wrong. Melancholy is -5, right?
Yes.
Okay. So my geniality currently cancels that out and still gives me 1. So, if I impassion loyalty lord and it doesn't melancholy me a second time, this should be fine. This should be fine.
I don't know if you
You
can
can't.
passion after being. Okay, go.
Yeah.
Oh, I
You
I
can
can?
impassion when you're that's the other problem with being in melancholy is you
Okay,
can't
sorry.
impassion.
Can't. Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's all right. Let's do it. Okay. So if I wanted to angle myself with Robert to present myself as an option for his sire,
Courtesy.
what would you courtesy? Okay, not great. Do I get any bonuses because he likes me a lot?
Your like a failure would wouldn't necessarily mean that you would be out of the draw.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's just okay. All right.
Yeah.
I can live with that. Okay, fellas. Okay, boys. Here we go. I'm rolling it. Here we go.
Okay,
Ow.
nice.
Very
I hurt my
nice.
neck. I hurt my
Oh,
neck
no!
celebrating.
Oh no!
You celebrated so hard that you pulled something.
Yeah. Roll directed trait pinch nerve.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think a very miserable. Do you mind, Bob, if this one is a very miserable Virgil getting summoned to talk to Robert? Does that work for you?
It doesn't really make sense. We'll say you just run into Robert because he's coming back from talking to Florence, and you're at the high table, so you would have you don't need to be summoned. You're at the host table, so you could just be kind of just running into him.
I meant him coming to me or him asking.
Yeah,
to talk
maybe
to me.
it's more like the two of you just kind of, you know, that thing you do when you accidentally like run into each other and you're both in each other's way from each other's seats.
Yeah.
That's
Virgil,
the vibe.
Virgil kind of laughed just for a second and go, apologies, my lord. It seems my head's not on right this year. This Easter.
That's strange, Virgil. You should do something about that.
Yes, I imagine I should. Or maybe the problem is that I already have. It's not important.
I'm gonna
How
roll
are
his
you?
intrigue. He's really bad at it, so let's see. Ooh. Hold
Like
on.
father, like
Ooh.
son.
Let me check. That could be a success.
Boy. Serpentine Muse has said, "Want to leave your wife and your mistress alone together." I think my mistress works in Sarum, so though she does not
Oh
like.
man.
Yeah, that's actually true.
I think Virgil invited her to stay with him while she was pregnant, and that was a whole drama, and that offer does still stand. There is an argument to be made that she's got lodgings in Sarum and stays there mostly. Like, you know, who knows? Who knows? That's for Bob to figure out.
He sighs and he says, "Is this to do with the wife troubles, or should I say mistress troubles?"
I'm not sure how much any of this will make sense to you yet. As you get older, I suspect it will more and more. My first wife I was married to because it was right for my family. I cared for her, but I don't think I could say that I loved her. When I met Lilo, she showed an interest in me in a way that no one else had, and since then, things have been very complicated. I'm grateful that your sister was able to find someone that she connected with. But I will tell you this, meeting a second person you connect with has been a fate worse than hell.
I'll have to take your word for that, but your word is well trusted.
You honor me with such things, my Earl. Speaking of which, I heard that you will be squiring soon. Have you put any thought into who you'd like to serve under?
Oh, it's complicated. Most of the knights I trust have business of their own to do. And duties and lands to look after. Whatever it is that will happen will require them to be here in Sarum with me. So I'll likely end up with Sir Bar. Hopefully not my uncle. No offense to him. Like him well enough, but guy could barely stay on a horse last time we went riding together.
You sound disappointed by that.
Bar is like family to me. That kind of family that you'd like to see a little bit less than you have to already.
I felt the same way about my father. I barely knew him when he was alive, but he was always so focused on Perin. Either way, I know that I've never been much good more than a soldier, a sword to swing, but my squire will be knighted soon, likely within the year, and though it would mean sacrificing my calling as a warrior, I would find no higher honor than to serve you in that way, should you so desire.
He kind of contemplates. He says, "But you have devices. Who will look after devices while you're away? This isn't a simple matter of a year, and you'll be here until I'm knighted."
As it turns out, one of the reasons you've caught me in such a foul mood is that I have arranged for my wife to return to devices under guard that she feels comfortable with. So, this last year I have proven to be a lousy steward. I have a great mind for soldiering, but I think devices will be very safe under her care for the time being, and the hounds. As I said, you are our land's priority. You should be protected, and you should be with someone that you trust.
Are you still with the mistress, Virgil?
I did not feel it was appropriate to abandon her. Not for my sins. I know it is not how all things are done, but I swore to her that I would make sure she was taken care of. I don't intend to drop that, even if my reputation suffers for it.
Well, you can't be having a wife and having a mistress so openly, Virgil. And furthermore, I can't be squiring for someone who does. You'll need to break it off. Do what you must with your mistress as far as looking after her well-being. That is honorable of you. But you'll need to break it off with her.
Of course, my lord. There is wisdom in your words, as there has always been. If that is the price for serving you, I will happily pay it.
Can't be having any shame that is amounted from that coming here to Sarum. And he has no idea, like at the time the serving, she's walking by or something. No, she's probably out of the feast. Like she probably has arrangements to specifically not be at the feast where Lilo's there, or she'd probably get killed. So,
yeah. Hey, this one's not as vengeful as Perin's wife.
That's true.
We might hold two. Virgil sinks, I think, a little. Like, it's noticeable that he sinks a little further. And but he smiles and he goes, "Believe it or not, I am looking forward to this time with you."
Excellent. And we should do right by your mistress. We should find her a proper husband. I'll leave it to you over the year to find the most appropriate match for her, if your heart can bear it.
It should be my responsibility.
All right. Just end of the melancholy.
This year fucking sucks for Virgil.
And it just started.
Okay. And that was a successful courtesy, so
delicious.
3 more. Yeah.
Yay! This is delicious. Also awful.
Yes. Yeah, both those things are true here. At this point, while that's happening, Sir Bar comes over to Edrich.
Sir Bar, how fares the feast?
Sir Edrich, the Countess Ellen wishes to speak with you.
Then that is where I shall be. I think Edrich will rise the plate of, what is it? The duchette, the custard and bone marrow pie, left a little bit nibbled as he says his brief farewells to Oslaf, accompanying Sabar back to the Lady Ellen.
Bart stops back at his normal post, like he's clearly not involved in any of this.
Indeed.
And when you get there, Lady Ellen's there, and she's there with her daughter, and says, Sir Edrich, would you mind accompanying the two of us? We're going to be taking a brief walk to the courtyard. We would like a proper night of escort.
It would be my honor, my ladies.
I will give Florence and Virgil, just like without geniality, just a general intrigue roll to see if you happen to notice that happening. Virgil, you are at -5 for this one.
Yeah, baby.
Robert doesn't notice.
This was intrigue or yeah.
Yeah, intrigue for
hang
you.
on. That is wrong. I gave myself the bonus. That is a fail.
Okay.
Success.
Yeah, Florence. So you see Jenna, Ellen, and Edrich going somewhere. Most matters are dealt with in the small council. It does catch the eye of some of the diplomats. Rofus, for sure. Erwin catches it. It's like, where are the three of those two? Where are the three of them going?
It is a little bit unusual for a marshal to be made the escort, formidable though Edrich may be.
With that, the three of you walk out to the courtyard, and we're going to go ahead and continue with Florence for a minute, and then we'll come back to that scene at the close of the feast. So, Florence.
Florence is going to approach Queen
Eliabel? Yep.
Eliabel. And should I let you know what he's attempting to achieve first?
Maybe. Yep.
Okay. The plan for Florence is trying to figure out if Queen Eliabel has returned home to Cornwall, and if so, if she has heard any rumors about the candidacy of who will be nominated Earl of
Dorset.
Dorset. Is it
Nope.
Dorset?
Devon.
Wasn't it?
No. Devon.
Sorry.
Devon, yeah.
Close enough. It was a good pull. Dorset's the one just beside. Dorset's the place that Cornwall tried to take and failed. The only place so far they. Yeah.
Got you.
So it was Accolon, and it's become Devon.
Ascalon. Ascalon's your knight.
Right.
He's the one united.
This is too familiar.
Yeah. That's a good bit.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, that's probably an intrigue roll.
All right. He is going to use. Could he use hospitality for this?
Yes, and you'll need to because it's contested, so you'll want to get as high as you can.
Yeah.
Contested, you can add your geniality and you can add any passion you succeed at. Okay.
Success. So that's a +10 plus that. So this is going to be a +14. Please crit, for the love of God. God damn it!
Hey, better than her.
Rolled better than her, so
Still wish it was a crit.
I know.
Yeah.
I literally don't think I could have rolled
lower
lower than her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She could have crit. Rolled 17. Yeah.
She could have crit, yeah.
Yeah. Sir Florence. How is the axe?
It goes well. Your Majesty. I have found that business in the Axe had been surprisingly quiet.
Make a dex roll.
Mostly my... Alright. Failure.
You take 1 damage as all of a sudden this sting comes right to the side of your shin. You look down and you see Tristram, and he's just kicked you as hard as he can right in the leg.
Attaboy.
And she's like, Tristram, and she shoves him off to one of the knights, and the knights moves, him back to where he's supposed to be seated. She sighs and she says, "You'll have to forgive him."
Protective young one.
Something of the sort, indeed.
Quite a kick on him.
Sorry about that again.
No, it's all right. Boys shall be boys. But yes, mostly my business in Somerset has kept me quite busy.
Both you and my lord husband.
Sure, though I've heard you've been doing quite well, from what I've heard.
Well, let us hope that remains so. We will see what the summer brings. I'm sure you're well positioned in Wales.
Oh yes, Wales stands as a shining bastion, and hopefully we should continue to do so for the rest of the year. And further. He kind of raises his glass a little and goes, but I imagine, I'm unsure if you hear much of what happens in Somerset from back home. Perhaps you've heard rumors over the winters and such of how your lord husband is doing?
I've heard of the victories as directly as I could. I've also been hearing some rumors around here in Salisbury about the burning of pagans in trials.
Oh yes.
Hell yeah.
His lordship, the prince, seems to be very interested in hunting down what he perceives to be witches within the lands of Somerset. I myself do not believe in such partaking, as I find the idea of it kind of strange.
It is a bit cruel to consider, and I think some of the Salisbury Knights, of course, dating their history to the Belgae, and they themselves consider such actions cruel. Not all of them, of course. There are many of the British Christians here that think that a proper necromancer needs to be shut down. Some even claim that there was a necromancer wandering around these woods not too long ago.
I've heard all the rumors around such necromancers, and I have seen no evidence of such. Thus, I'm hesitant to believe anything of that regard. But when it comes to matters of witchery and such, I simply think it is, if you pardon the term, old wives' tales. Find myself not putting stock in. Far better to show that we are open to them and their personal eccentricities, in the hopes that they might see the light, as it were.
Indeed. I've been keeping track of things back home as much as I can. It seems that Prince Mark has, my brother, has positioned himself in the logistics of the counties, specifically in Devon and in Jagant. There's been some trouble with Indeed, it seems the supply lines have been raided more than once from Devon.
It's quite funny. I was about to inquire as to whether the Earl of Devon was taking care of it, but as far as I remember, position has not been requested, has it?
Well, my understanding is that my father had a bit of a assessment going on between you and Lord Urban.
Oh yes, that's right. Have you heard any words of Sir Owen?
Thomas, we're picking up some Oh, sorry about that. Thomas, we're picking up a little bit of feedback.
So sorry.
Yeah, you're all good. My understanding is he's been working quite directly at this moment with Prince Mark.
Is that so? Curious.
Indeed. Ensuring that the supply lines are looked after. You must not really have gotten along very well with my brother. He doesn't speak highly of you.
Is it so? That sure is unfortunate.
Well, he is...
I've always tried my best to be friendly towards him. He is my prince, after all.
He can be a bit difficult.
Oh. I choose not to speak on such subjects. You gather smiles.
A wise decision, she says with a smile. Well...
And I do often wonder, as someone such as yourself, have you heard your father's opinions on such topics?
Father is very aware of his age. He doesn't like to delve too deep into what he calls simple matters. I believe that he's more or less informally delegated this to Mark.
I see.
For what it's worth, I would advise you getting closer to Prince Mark if you wished such an opportunity. Though do know he will likely hold it over your head. A ransom, as it will. He does like to work that way. Always with some kind of leverage.
I see. Well, I appreciate your counsel.
She nods. She says, your experience, Sir Florence, you would be the better Earl, or Count, or whatever title will be granted. Do you truly want it? I mean, do you really want the responsibility?
I believe it is more than about wants or desires. There is a duty that one must fulfill to uphold their oaths to their lords. And in my case, to my king. I want to see his lands prosper. All of them. And if I can do my part, prove myself as a man of noble standing, as a leader of men, as one who cares for his vassals and kin, then I will sacrifice whatever is needed for the sake of the people. After all, that is what a leader should do. Should they not?
She smiles. Indeed. I do wonder sometimes, having spent as much time as I have here, and learning of the Knights of the Sword of Victory, if one might consider their king my father, Idris, or the one they call the Winter Prince.
Who's that?
You see, Your Majesty, my king was Uther. And Uther has passed. I will serve my king to the end.
She nods.
My new king to the end.
I think she's not given a clear answer with that, so she just nods. A bit skeptic, but you can tell at the same time with your past intrigue, she's more curious than running back home to tell Dad.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome in, Havoc RPG and friends.
Welcome.
Hello.
Through that, Florence would end this with a, well, it has been a pleasure speaking with you, Your Majesty. It seems I might have to arrange a meeting with your brother, or with your Lord Brother. If you'll excuse me.
All right, perfect. Did we get your geniality? Not yet, right? So that's 2 more.
2 geniality. Yep. Total of 6.
All right. Total of 6 for Florence, and then we go back to Edrich. And this takes place slightly out of the feast.
But only just, so watch it.
Okay, fine. I won't kill my lord's sister and mother.
Yet.
But it should be notable, at least to those who see Edrich moving, that he's moving a little bit more easily than he did last year. Still, like, clearly showing his age, but now his gait is coming back, more of a prowl than a halting step.
As the 3 of you make your way past the guards, you can tell that the courtyard is completely empty, save for the guards who are present. And Lady Ellen walks over beside Lady Jenna. She looks at Ellen and then Jenna nods. There is news, Sir Edrich, news that we must keep secret for now, or else we'll spoil an opportunity.
I see. Consider me intrigued.
As Lady Jenna kind of stands a bit more tall, clearly out of her comfort zone, talking about matters of war and, siege. Like, that's not quite her forte. She says, my lord husband would be here to speak the words himself, but if he were to exit, it would draw even more attention than my mother and I. And so I've taken up the mantle. There's good news. But it's news that I'm not certain you can do much with other than sit and wait. There has been, for many years now, a group of loyalist knights working within occupied London, working against the Saxons, readying for a time in which London would be sieged.
I am familiar. Indeed, it is Sir Rhodri who was tasked with infiltrating the city. Am I given to understand there has been news of success?
Success or not, the Duke of Lindsay will not be waiting. He plans to march south on London this year.
I see. This changes things quite a bit in the political landscape. But should he succeed, it will be a great blow against the Saxons, for better and for worse.
My father will not be raising an army. It would draw the attention too quickly to London. We
The Duke
believe...
of Lindsay is best served by a lightning strike.
Indeed. Some knights from Ulfius's lands have been given the opportunity, select honorable knights, to ride without their family honors north to participate as mercenaries in Cornelius's army, and I wanted to make sure that my homeland, Salisbury, those trusted only, were given such an opportunity to do the same.
That is most kind, and in giving us this information, you have afforded us a great deal of time with which to make preparations, subtle ones, that need not raise any eyes. I can direct these opportunities to those who I know to be subtle. For every staunch sword arm in defense of this that can make their way through Silchester subtly will be well served in London. Duke Corneus I cannot say is my favorite man, but he is a competent commander.
Hmm.
Every angle of advantage that can be stacked should be given. Thank you very much, Lady Jenna.
Lady Ellen cuts in at that point and says, "What's more, the small council should continue on as it has prior, with Sir Florence and without this discussion. That means that there will be discussion on matters of the war in Summerland, or Somerset, or whatever they're calling it now."
Indeed so. I see no issue with that.
Good. Well, it seems we're all in proper arrangements then. She looks
Quite
to
so.
Lady Jenna, and kind of hugs her daughter and says, "Thank you for bringing this our way, especially with the news. Give me an intrigue roll."
Absolutely. I'd love to make an intrigue roll. Bear with me for one quick second. I lost my thing. Critical.
You can tell the way she glances down, it's like right at Jenna's belly. And
Yes.
there's a
and
look
I
of
think
pride
there
on her
is-
face and a little look of like trying to keep it quiet a bit from Jenna, and all that together. You're like, I know what's going on.
Indeed.
Like without
I
a
think
doubt.
Definitely. There is a faint smile on Edric's face that kind of glints in the moonlight as he says, "Congratulations, Lady Jenna."
Thank you. We'll be announcing it once the midwife says it's safe to do so.
Indeed so.
Right.
Yes. As someone who has experienced parenthood, though not from the perspective of a mother, you're opening a new chapter into your life. I wish you luck and good fortune in that and in the days to come.
Okay. We're going to give you just 2 because you know what? I'm going to say 1, but you also got the crit. So that'll make up some. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
But yes, sounds lovely. Edric has plans. Hearing about the possible liberation of London is fantastic, but it also means the Saxons are probably going to try to make a retaliatory move afterwards.
That's a fair assessment. The worst part about this is you realize your small council you rely on for movement is only going to have half the info that you need them to have in order to make decisions. So when you're proposing things, you have to propose it in such a way that it,
that it doesn't leak as such,
or even if will it even be successful? That's the other worry. Will you have success in your proposals if half the information's off the table and it doesn't make sense? So it's kind of like
100%.
Yeah.
Like from Edric's perspective, the best way that he can handle that while giving into the instructions of his sovereign is to handle it carefully with individual select members and not bring it up as a group, and find the knights that are competent and good and can keep a fucking secret, which is precious few of them, and see how many of them would be willing to assist. Worst part is he can't bring this to the people in Idmiston because they told him not to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you at least need to resolve your intentions on supporting Summerland, Cornwall, or remaining neutral, or rather, supporting cover. Hold on. Supporting Summerland is supporting Nanteleod, really.
Indeed.
Yeah. So it's
Will
really
require, yes, sneaky discussions.
indeed. All right. So with that, folks, we're gonna move into the small council.
Hey.
Yeah. So this will involve Virgil. Florence will be present unless he abstains from doing so.
You know what? Florence will. He's got business he needs to take care of.
Okay.
He's probably riding to Cornwall.
Okay. So we
This
can have
makes
you
things
present.
a little bit easier.
Yeah. Well, Iago would still be there.
Yes.
Yeah, Iago would still be there.
Yeah. So you can
Also, Iago doesn't look like he cares.
right. You can
There.
play him for
Yeah.
yeah.
Florence basically walked to his brother and said, I need you to attend a meeting for me. He's like, oh, come on.
Right. Do I have to be sober? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so you can take up Iago for this scene. I'm going to switch back to the camera scene.
One moment, let me transfer the glory across.
Okay, so we are going to quickly remind who's here for the small council. This is Ellen, Robert, Erwin, and Bar. Right? It was Bar that you guys added? Is it not?
I believe
this is Bar.
so,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, we were trying to determine whether he was alive or dead when you guys decided that. And then other than that, it's Virgil.
We keep trying to fucking invite Queen Igraine, but like we never get round to it.
Right? Edrich. And lastly is Iago. The rotating house of Idmiston. Irresponsible brother of Sir Florence. Yeah, that kind of fits. Okay, so
Absolutely.
Lady, will it be Lady Jenna? I think Robert now, especially at 15, he's like, all right, so we have some important decisions to discuss. It seems that the war into Summerland will continue this year, and it will likely heat up to full-scale warfare on both sides. Do we intend to remain neutral?
Remaining neutral is the safest option for us, but it may not be the best one. While a full-scale war with King Idris and Cornwall will be disastrous for us, we have the potential to gain allies, and in that take some of the heat away.
The way I see it, the longer we wait, the less there will be to join us in standing against them. Edrich won't stop with Summerland.
Indeed, he will not. But I will note we have enemies to our eastern and southern borders as well, with Wessex. Once we decide where to pit our blade and our shield, the other will act as a knife in the dark.
Do we? I think Lady Ellen will ask this. She says, "Do we consider Nanteleod an enemy?" As a decision we'll have to come to quite quickly.
I will confess, while I do consider him a potential threat, as I consider most players on this field, I do not consider him an enemy. We, unlike King Idris, have worked together to defeat a common foe.
Erwin chimes in and says, "I would agree. The king may be from Cambria, but he is Kimry, and it seems his values line up with those of Logris. Furthermore, he is of the line of Vortimer." .
I have listened to those under his service and those in his land, and I have heard few in the way of complaints. The same cannot be said of occupied Somerset. Then again, it is occupied. This changes matters a great deal diplomatically. But, though this is an age of anarchy, Cornwall has no ancestral or legal ties to that land. Even under the time of Duke Gorlow. It is an unjust war, and quite frankly, as Sir Virgil has stated, his ambitions are significant.
Funnily enough, I think Robert will say, what does House Idmiston say to all this?
What? Oh, let's see. Something neutral. I think his he has informed me to say that he believes that House Idmiston believes that our best option moving forward is neutrality when it comes to two large forces such as the king of and Cornwall. Yes, the best option moving forward.
Well said. I think Edrich will say, and it's so he tries so hard to keep it not sarcastic that it loops back around to deadpan snarky.
Bar will add, of course, that benefits the Baron of the Axe quite well. I know he would likely wish for our aid if it was possible, but let's be honest, we're not siding with Cornwall.
Indeed. Siding with Cornwall will make us the enemy of nearly every other nation and great power. Siding with Nanteleod makes us the enemy of one, who we are not hostile of already. And if we remain neutral, both sides will remember. It is the most practical to join forces with one to destroy the other, so that the surviving one will note that we assisted them in a fight against their enemy, and that the one who does not survive does not breathe a word to our detriment.
We fought with Nanteleod already. His men proved themselves to be honorable. I see little question here. If Nanteleod should turn his blades against us once Cornwall is defeated, well, I'd rather go down fighting him than Cornwall.
There is one consideration, and it is the one that I brought up at the beginning. In remaining neutral, we lose many of our advantages, but we keep one, which is that we have our forces in the event that Wessex were to redouble their efforts and attack with their allies, should they have any, from the mainland, or with the other Saxon polities, we will be able to defend ourselves with greater ease. Make a direct enemy of Cornwall. Many of our forces will be towards the western border. Unless we aim to split our forces both ways, in which case we will be weakened from both sides. Wessex remains an extant threat.
I've long since begun preparations and making devices a stronghold against Cornwall. And I've also struck a deal with Sir Robert, Regent of Mayor. He's going to be doing the same down there.
Yes, good. While devices would be a better defense against the forces of Escavalon than it is Cornwall, it is still a useful avenue to cut off, and Mir is indeed likely where they will travel through, along with the Wearside 100.
I've been working to make it a more incentive target, a more incentivized target, attractive to Idris. But we'll see. My point is, the Saxons will never end as a threat, and we will either stand alone against them forever, or we will stand with them against them with allies. Neutrality gains us nothing but a reputation for being duplicitous. Doesn't sit right with me.
I concur. Gods, I wish we had a navy. But indeed, I believe the best course of action is indeed a tentative alliance with Nanteleod, if we can. And I believe if Escavalon is to commit to a full-scale war, it would be in our interest to attack from an angle that they are not expecting. With that in mind, our borders can act as something of a... I can't use that word because it's from World War I. As something of a easy territory for them to travel through, while acting as a defense from Cornwall itself. So long as we can keep the Hell Knights away from our supply lines, we will be well suited. So long as we can keep our borders safe.
I didn't think about this, but I should roll battle for Robert to see if he's even keeping up with this.
Indeed. I believe in him.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Robert says, it sounds like we consider Cornwall a threat enough to move against them to make a decision for Nanteleod, a commitment to Nanteleod. We are allied already. We did so, at least in the form of defense, when they met with us just recently.
Indeed.
The question is, if we are to participate, then how will we participate? Will we send soldiers to the northern border, to Great Bridge, to assist with Nanteleod? Do we send raids from our southern border into Cornwall? Do we march on Devon? It does draw us as aggressors if we're to do more than send allies to a greater army.
Indeed.
Aggressors to who? A conqueror?
Robert nods. Robert strangely isn't, normally he's a bit more battle hardened and ready for this kind of decision. He seems a little more reserved here. He says, I'm hesitant to throw away our men's lives to make a point in someone else's war. But I do understand that we must be decisive here.
Then perhaps offering Salisbury as a staging ground for counterattack, or as a steadfast hold against Cornwall's assault. They send us troops to hold our borders, and we defend them so that his men can have a staging ground for their push.
It will afford them two angles of attack in which they can divide their men, ensuring that their lines of defense are not as defended as they could be.
Indeed. That's wise.
Yes, indeed. I believe Sir Virgil's plan is a prudent one. The best plan for us, at least tactically, if not strategically, would be to do raids into their lands while they are defending their occupied lands, gaining wealth for ourselves and distracting their defenders. But in so doing, it will invite retaliation in kind. And I believe that while King Idris is perhaps more reasonable than his despot of a son, that a proportional response will still be quite violent. Staging
What about
grounds and defense.
unaffiliated mercenaries? They could use Salisbury as a staging ground, but maintain neutrality between us.
I have some contacts in that area. However, I will note that we are running out of funds.
With that, I think Ellen will be the one to speak up and says, "Indeed, if we are to stage for war, we must do it quickly and shortly, and then return to collecting in our coffers once more. We will likely need to limit our celebrations at Christmas and Easter."
Wartime austerity.
Then,
I believe we are decided that we will ally with Nanteleod, and I believe we are doubly decided that we will offer our lands as open territory for them to move their troops through. Shall we act merely as a shield or also as a sword, providing our forces to bolster theirs? I'm inclined to say yes.
I think
Victory for them means an enemy less.
Robert cuts Edrich off and says, "Any who oppose an alliance with Nanteleod against Cornwall, none of the NPCs raise their hand. What about Iago? Is he even paying attention enough to, or is he like off in his own world?"
I think he's probably a little off in his own world. He just kind of looks around and sees no one's doing anything, so he does the same.
he doesn't even realize there's a vote happening.
Yeah.
Probably like looked around and was like, "Wait, was anybody called on? No, nobody's doing anything. Good."
Nobody's talking.
Did they ask me a question?
Yeah.
Should I respond?
Right. Okay. With that, then Robert says, "Then it's decided. We'll ally with Nanteleod. Next vote. Are we to act merely in defense, or are we to, as Edrich put it, a sword or a shield?"
If I may, before the vote, I'd like to put forward that perhaps that particular decision should be put on hold until we discuss with Nanteleod what he would like us. Perhaps it would be prudent, and I think he looks right at Robert, and he goes, not in like a "you should do what I say" thing, but more of like a recalling their previous conversation. Like, it would be prudent for us to make a decision now and wait to enact it until Nanteleod is able to offer his input.
Indeed. This is a discussion on what we are prepared to do, and it may change with the political realities.
Then what do we propose?
I believe we should be committed to adding our forces to his in addition to allowing our borders as a staging ground. A defeat of Cornwall is good for us, even if it will lead to some difficulties later down the line. With that in mind, offering that to Nanteleod, it will be a boon diplomatically. And if we are committed to help him against his enemies, he will be committed to help us against ours.
All in favor?
Aye.
Who else raises their hand before I say what Virgil does?
Let's see.
I think Virgil waits. I think he does actually hesitate. He's not immediately raising his hand for this.
I think Edrich might be the only one that raises their hand immediately.
He's a bloodthirsty guy.
Robert looks like he's hesitant, which is not normal. Normally he's been kind of preaching we should do something for a while. Bar is a little bit reserved, and Ellen is also reserved. And then I think that leaves Erwin. Erwin will speak up and say, there is still Wessex.
It is they I mention among our list of enemies.
If with that, Robert sees enough time pass. He says, very well, those opposed to acting in aggression against Cornwall.
Virgil raises his hand.
Erwin raises his hand.
Seeing people are raising their hands, Iago raises their hand.
Not even sure what you heard.
This is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the moment.
This is all right. I got it. That's great. He should have an intrigue of like one.
Yeah.
Dude. Guy with Iago, guy named Iago with an intrigue of 1. I will note that Edrich does not seem like upset or even like stymied to be outvoted in this. It's very much we will handle matters either way, and both have their pros and cons type thing. And it's clear that he'll go along with the majority.
Ellen will raise her hand. Bar abstains, and Robert abstains. And Robert says,
the votes are clear that we act defensively.
Indeed. Very well. Out of character, just want to know, like, that could have swung the other way with the players, so I don't want that to be all about the NPCs. I think if you all presented an equal front,
That
probably...
could have swung the other way for Virgil, too.
Yeah.
That was a very hard choice for Virgil to make.
All right.
So if Iago saw Edrich and Virgil put their hands up, he'd probably put their hands up in their favor. 'Cause it's like, they seem to know what they're doing.
Yeah, we fought with him. He knows the score more or less.
That's hilarious. All right, so we got to the voting time. We know what Salisbury's aiming to do. They will reach out. So Robert says, Mother, if you could communicate this to Sir Elaine and make sure that the news is delivered back to Nanteleod. She nods. As you wish, my lord. All right. I think we can end that scene there, guys. What we're going to quickly do is set ourselves up for a few vignettes for the night. But before we do, I want to go ahead and go to a quick 5-minute break. So we'll be back soon. See you soon. By default, nights start at 21 with Kimmer culture, Christian religion, Salisbury homeland, and a random family characteristic. You can choose different options for all these. There are 5 characteristics: size, dexterity, strength, constitution, and appeal. Size and con determine total hit points and unconscious value. Size and strength determine weapon and brawling damage. Dex keeps a character upright or horsed and is used for starting weapon skills and throwing. Con also affects healing rate. App covers starting social skills, attractiveness, distinctive traits, and seating at feast. Skills have base starting values, some determined by your characteristic scores. Most skills are straightforward, but here are a few unusual ones. Recognize is used for identifying people, folklore for general and mythical knowledge, battle for navigating battles successfully, and hunting for navigating Britain's dense forests. There are 13 paired traits, like chaste, lustful, or valorous, cowardly, where increasing one lowers the other. These define how a character naturally behaves. If a trait is 16 or higher, it's famous, meaning the character defaults to the behavior without rolling. Otherwise, in uncertain moments, a player can roll one trait of the pair. If it succeeds, that's the action taken. If it fails, the opposite trait is tested instead. Over time, traits can shift through gameplay. Passions show what your character cares about, like loyalty, lord, or love family. They range from unsung 1 to 15, famous 16 to 19, and exalted 20 plus. You can invoke a passion for a bonus, but failure can cause melancholy, creating a -5 penalty. Or, in the case of madness, takes you right out of play. Famous passions are riskier, but exalted ones mostly help. In Pendragon, you roll a d20 and want to roll under your tested trait, passion, characteristic, or skill, like Price is Right rules. For contested rolls, the higher success wins, while the lower success is called a partial success. Sometimes you need to roll over a target number for challenges, like breaking down a door. Oh yeah! Rolling exactly your tested value is a critical strike. Rolling over your tested number is a failure. Rolling a 20 on a failed roll is a fumble. Bad news. If your tested number is greater than 20, the extra value becomes a bonus to your roll. This removes failure and fumble risk while boosting your critical chance. Glory measures a knight's fame for their deeds, directly granting permanent increase to their character. To be a knight is to pursue more glory. The more glory, the more recognition, and the greater the benefits to your character. This concludes the basics for a player on how to play Pendragon. The GM can guide the rest. Check out my linked series to find out why you should play Pendragon. All right, and we're back. And we're going to quickly jump over to Sir Florence next, because we haven't really seen too much of him in what's gone down. What was your plan? You had an agenda. I'm guessing it has something to do with Cornwall and Devon, but...
Yeah, his plan was to reach out to Prince Mark and organize a meeting between the two.
Very doable.
Privately.
He will meet you in whatever the name of the city is in Ascalon, which is the middle area. I want to say it's... I'm pulling up the map now. And I will bring us over there. One sec. Whee! All right. Hold on. Let me pull up the map. And I can bring you guys over to it. All right. I want to say it's like Ilminster or something like that.
Ilminster sounds wrong.
Ilchester's Jagant.
Idstream.
Yeah, it's one of those two.
It's definitely that wizard from Faerun.
Close.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in Ascalon. You're in the capital of Ascalon.
What is Devon now?
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. It's now known as Devon. So at this point, you arrange a meeting with Prince Mark. He is available. He says, Sir Florence, why don't you roll me? Why don't we add some fun randomness to this? Roll me a d10. 7. Okay, it's gonna go as planned. So,
All right.
you find Mark. It's not a private meeting. It's with his council. You will note that Urban's not present, though.
Okay.
So he has his council and his guards.
Your Majesty. Actually, no, it wouldn't be Your Majesty. It'd be... Depending on what it would be. I would just say Your Lordship, but he would use the appropriate term.
Is it Highness? Is that right? I don't remember.
I think it's
You could do... Yeah, you could do Your Highness, Your Grace, My Prince, etc. Because he is royalty.
Yeah, he is royalty. Your Highness, I was wishing to seek you out, as it has been quite some time since we have last spoken. I've also heard some news that your Lord Father, His Majesty, had placed important responsibility to you around the deciding of who it is that shall hold the lands of Devon for the kingdom.
And that's correct. Yes. I assume that you're here to petition your case against Urban.
I would not say it is a case against him. More
But
a case in
for
favor
you.
of myself.
Indeed. I'll hear it.
Well, in some regards, I would like to say the work I have done may speak for itself. Stationing within Wales, ensuring the defense and guardianship of its sovereignty in the sake for your Lord Father. I have also, I believe, done well in my jobs in Salisbury, ensuring that the lands and people there have a favorable opinion towards yourself and your Lord Father. I would also like to speak to my leadership in battle. I am one who has ensured that whichever battle I come into, I can gain some sort of victory from it, and within defend the valuable soldiers, strong soldiers that come from Cornish stock.
One thing that Urban does better than you, Sir Florence, is paperwork, detail, organization. You started a questing night, a sort of victory, if I have your history correct. I've only recently started to look into such things with all the rumors of this Winter Prince.
I see. Well, it is true that perhaps I've forgotten his name, Sir whatchamacallit.
Which one? Sorry. You can give me some detail.
The one he's competing about. Is it Irvin?
Urban, like a city. Yeah.
Urban. I keep hearing Sir Irwin and being like, that's not right.
Right, it's fair.
All right. Of course, well, Sir Urban is perhaps, when it comes to paperwork, as you have said, I have actually been expanding my capability over such things. I hope that perhaps one day I may be his equal. And even perhaps his better. But I digress. It is true. In this one regard, he may have a small notch above me. But I can promise you that I can guarantee you loyalty from the people of Devon. If there is anything that I am an inspiring commander and leader. And generally, in matters of war, such as the age we are in, you do not need people who can push pages around, but one who can stand by your side and inspire the men that would be your followers.
You are famous, Sir Florence. Many speak of your deeds. Those deeds prior and those deeds now. You do motivate men. That much is clear. But you speak of loyalty. And while I don't take away from that, you've served my father well. You've served us well. There is no complication right now. The only one being to that of Salisbury, your homeland, and your kingdom, which has your barony within it. But there are matters bigger than that now. There's a king in what used to be Hanton, now claiming to be the last surviving son of Vortigern. If that be true, then that is claim. There is Nanteleod, the grandson of Vortimer, that gives him claim to Logris. And of course, if the rumors are true, is the Winter Prince. So what loyalty would we be handing Devon over to, if it were in your care, Sir Florence? One to my father?
It is loyalty that I can offer to you, my prince.
I'll hear it, he says, curious, but like you can tell there's skepticism.
Yeah. Florence would kneel before him. And he would take his blade and he would hold it out. And he would say, "You who is heir to Cornwall, who will one day be a great king, I promise to you my loyalty and my willingness to do whatever you require to prove such loyalty. Should you ask it, I would draw my own blood. I hold my sword to you, knowing that if you believe that I am not fit to serve under you, that you may take it and strike me. I show my utmost fealty to you in all regards." I am your servant. I am your knight. And if you would have me, I will serve under you as Earl.
He takes your blade from you, and he says, and if my orders are against an heir of Pendragon,
The Pendragon is dead, Your Grace.
but there's rumors of this
I
Winter
serve the
Prince.
truth. He kind of shakes his head. There are many rumors of many things, but I can tell you what I have seen. I've seen the death of the great Pendragon. I've seen the death of his brother, Uther, and I have seen the death of his one and only heir, Madoc. I know in my heart there is no others. Pendragons lie dead in Salisbury, at the Giant Stones.
I need you to make a courtesy roll, and you'll be opposed.
Okay.
Interesting.
For this courtesy roll, he will be calling upon his loyalty sword of victory, as this is a part of their plan to see
he's
the
calling
rise
upon-
of the Pendragon.
He's calling upon his scout's honor.
Yeah, my scout's honor.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh no!
Oh, no!
Oh, you're gonna
advantage is in
you're gonna
chat.
kill this
Advantage is
guy.
in chat.
You're-
Yeah, this is. Oh boy. Oh no.
Yeah. And a push won't work on this
Ah.
because pushes can't.
Yeah.
They have to be a failure, not a fumble for a push.
Oh shit!
Can I give him
Well-
advantage because I'm not in the scene?
Technically, we did allow for that. We got one. So that's better.
Oh, there you go.
That's a shame
Thank
because this is
you.
really interesting.
It could always fumble back.
It would be.
It
It
could
would
always be
be,
another fumble.
Thank you
Double
so
It's a
much.
critical.
Oh baby.
Wow.
That is the dice telling a weird story, but it is a story nonetheless.
So
yeah,
I
that-
believe
epic.
on a 17, that's a plus 10.
That is a
is
plus 10.
The epic highs and
Holy
lows.
crap.
And your sword of
Wow.
victory goes up by 1.
Yup.
Okay.
Courtesy plus 10.
Christ.
Wow.
That's a critical on a 25.
Noted.
Oh yeah.
So the one thing to factor in is if there's a dual crit, this is going to have to be interpreted a bit.
Yep.
I believe
Wow.
with a 15 plus 11, that'd be a 26.
Yeah, and we don't, once it's crit versus crit. There's no more comparing the number.
Yeah.
It's just crit versus
it's
crit,
crit on
which
crit.
makes combat more interesting because if you dual crit, you both take damage without your armor. This
Which
is
sucks, let me tell you.
It's like that whole, you could both die from the same strike, which is interesting. Okay, so, but that's not what's happening. What I'm going to interpret this on, because he did succeed, but at a lower level than you, I think he's still going to remain suspicious. In fact, I'm going to give him a suspicious of Florence at
Suspicious Florence, yeah.
D6, so 3 will add to his suspicion. And in doing so, he's going to say, very well. You prove yourself to me in this war against Nanteleod. And should you return victorious or a war hero, Devon will be yours.
Thank you, my prince. I will do you great honor. Return the honor you have shown me.
All right. You find out as you make your way to Wells, you're offered another attachment of Mark's men that accompany you now. So Mark's men, a group of 6 of them, will remain with you, and they're hard to shake. So as you go anywhere, if you're in Wells, they're not like following your every step, but kind of like, you know, the way guards would. If you go anywhere, though, they, you know, if like you go to meet with like some of the quests you've done, will be hard to shake them from those moments.
So those are going to be off the table for them.
You're gonna have to be creative with how you deal with that stuff. All right. Well, that's good. That's good. All right.
Jeez, I think my heart left my throat leapt up into my throat for a second there.
Yeah. Can you imagine if Florence had gone into madness right there and fucking then, naked steel in front of his hand, Mark right there?
I think he would have stabbed that kid in the throat, and that would have been the end of him. And war. So much for our maybe we maintain a little bit of neutrality.
We just hear rumors the next feast. Did you hear that a man dove from the window of Prince Mark naked and cackling wildly after killing him? Shit. Was he blonde?
Goratrix returned from the dead? Yeah.
Possessed by the spirit of Goratrix.
Goratrix just hops into his body having failed his intrigue roll, going, "No, you will not betray the Pendragons! Have at thee!"
Die!
Okay. One last point before we close. Who is in Durnford at this moment? Not Devises, but Durnford.
That is an excellent and very scary question. Let's see. We've got at all times. I have, in addition to whatever soldiers are there, typically, and the defenses. Where is my list? Sorry, hang on. I'm trying to find my list of Jimmies. There they are. The Timmies, no. The Billies. Sor and Eden, no, he's dead. Sior and another knight are always at Durnford. In addition, I don't know if Lady Bronwyn agreed to bring back all of the kids that she took, parents' kids that she took back there, or if she's still staying at the other place. But I think that's probably it.
One person who may already certainly be there is Cato. No, wait, hold on. What's Perin's son who came of age?
Jaren.
Yes. Jaren.
He's still 19, so probably squired elsewhere.
Right.
He's probably safe.
Yeah.
Whatever it is Bob's about
That's
to do.
my bad.
Yeah. We will move into the summer next year, and we will pick up where we're leaving off with horns and trumpets sounding at the call for a raid from Wessex on Idmiston and Durnford and everyone over on that side of the fence. We'll pick up with those sieges when we begin next time, but I like to leave on a bit of a pause so we can kick off right in the middle of things where possible. We don't get a chance to do that enough with all the paperwork in this game. So we're going to go ahead and do some outros, folks. We are going to start with, I'm pausing because I need to wait. Thomas, you're good. Go ahead.
Hello, my name has been Thomas, and it remains Thomas, in fact, as I have been the Marshal of Salisbury, making deals, politicking, being the scheming knight that he was always meant to be, and very proud to see Lady Jenna growing up. He absolutely could not be the knight of Earl Robert, simply because he likes going places far too much. But I have been me, and next time he will get to the murdering, which he's quite good at.
Indeed. All right. And Mark.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. I was just checking out our handy-dandy Discord. By the way, did you know we have a Discord? Come check us out. Lots of fun things on there, such as shitposts and memes, as well as notifications and whenever we go live, as well as new projects we are always doing and working on. Otherwise, I have been Mark, aka The Cat's Meow, and you can find me on my own Twitch channel, where I run, I ran a number of vampire games. I now run a vampire game. I just finished up the first season of my Isle of the Damned Dark Ages campaign. But keep an eye out for what will be the second season, known as Isle of Ragnarok. I also do another one, which is House of Tremere, which runs on, I want to say Wednesdays at 8 p.m. EST. Yeah.
5 p.m.
So
8 p.m. EST.
8 p.m. EST. And so why don't you come join us for some fun, hot vampire fun, as I've been told to call it now. Everyone else does.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
But yes, that have been me playing Sir Florence of Idmiston. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you come watch more of our stuff. That's
Awesome.
me.
Liam.
Hey everybody, I'm Liam. I played Baron Virgil Devices. What a awful year for him. Culmination of a lot of different things happening at the same time. However, looking like he's gonna get to murder somebody pretty soon, so that'll be fun for him. He'll be feeling good about that.
Assuming you're not stuck in Sarum.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Regardless, I'm looking forward to having to resolve some things in the next couple of years, and we're getting pretty close to Perin's kid being of age, so that'll be interesting too. I also have something to plug. Come check out our podcast. It's me and a couple of friends of the show called On with the Motley. We pick a subject that we're passionate about and explain it back to our friends who are unfamiliar with it. It's a lot of fun. We've got 3 episodes out right now, and you should absolutely come and check them out. On with the Motley.
Great. Okay, so let's see what to plug. We'll start with Pendragon. We do 3 shows of Pendragon here on a consistent basis. That is Sundays in Salisbury, Tuesdays in Somerset or Summerland, and Fridays in Nanteleod's lands of Wales. Kind of. They're always invading somewhere else. But you know what? That's where they go for Christmas most of the time. That's where they go to feast. So close enough. Yeah, these games are connected in the same universe. We have NPCs that bounce back and forth between the 3. We occasionally have cameos between players jumping across, though for sanity's sake, we don't do that all the time. Yeah, and quick announcement. So we'll be doing the outcome of the Anarchy and Londinium game 2 weeks from now. We're going to go ahead and close that out. We'll see what the success is in London. Is London liberated from the Saxons or not? We'll find out soon. Lastly,
London.
Right? It's like only the capital.
What have the Londoners ever done for us?
Right. One last shout out. We're probably, well, actually next week we're doing a session 0 for it. So I'm running on Saturday nights at 8:30 p.m. Legend of the Five Rings short, which should be 4 to 6 probably episodes total, taking place at a Topaz tournament at a particular interesting time in the Empire. So we have a very big cast for that, 8 in total across, I think, 5 separate streams that we have people participating in. Specifically grab people all not familiar with Legend of the Five Rings. So it should be a crazy good time. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. We're going to go ahead and see if anyone's around to raid out to. Let's see here quickly. I could have done this earlier if I was on my game. One sec.
I do that all the time, but like, let's raid. Oh shit, I gotta click on the button.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm ahead of it. I'm still recovering from travel, so 8-hour drive yesterday, and it hurt.
Naughty.
All right, one sec. Okay. Max Flywheel. We've gone there before. Let's do that. It never shows like the the one that shows first. It's why we need an outro screen, gents.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Hey, we're doing the best we got.
You know what? Stick around for the raid. I'm going to just cut us over to the BRB screen because it has the How to Play Pendragon in 3 minutes video. So stick around, listen to that. And by the time that's over, hopefully you know something about the game we just played and you can join the raid.